I have tested every client acquisition model out there to get myself clients in the agency. I wasted 3 years of my life to learn this, and this is what actually works. And I'll share that in a moment here. But first, let's see where most people fail to get clients consistently. You have been told that if you just work hard, you will get yourself clients. If you just put in the numbers, it will work. So you got stuck at cold outreach. Or maybe you run ads and then you jump on sales calls. But you got fooled with overcomplicating the sales funnel, where you have numerous steps that you have to go through and all of your time in a day gets eaten. I used to believe in the same stories, and that was the reason why I pushed, and no matter how much I work, how many numbers I put in, I couldn't seem to move away from 2K per month. I got stuck on that for, I would say, 1.5 years, and I couldn't find a way to move from that dead spot. Sales call after sales call, I had literally 10 leads per day. My calendar was jammed, I couldn't move, but still I couldn't get people to buy from me. I couldn't get deals closed and I couldn't get sales. I almost burned out twice from anxiety, first time doing cold outreach and second time when I couldn't figure out how to connect the paid ads with a sales call. I had so many unsuccessful sales calls that I didn't know what to do. But then I finally realized the truth. I was placing my focus on a completely wrong thing. You see, people buy once they trust you. When it comes to the whole process, the simpler the better. And this is what I think 99% of agency owners get wrong, and they keep making the same mistake over and over again. But if you're watching this, you are probably amongst the 1%, so congratulations on that. Seriously, if somebody has shared just this information with me, it would save me probably 2 years of my life. When you take it from 3 years, 2 years, it's a lot of time. It's like 66% of all my time in business. So when you really think about why clients buy, it's not because you have a fancy offer. It's not because you have a crazy guarantee or you offer some unbelievable numbers. Nobody really trusts that. The biggest reason why clients buy is because they trust either the person or the agency. So instead of focusing on putting in the numbers or creating a complex funnel, just shift your focus on getting clients to trust you. And right now, I'm going to give you a few simple steps that you can implement today to get clients to really trust in you, in your system, in your process, using Instagram profiles so that you can close 2 clients each week. The first focus is having a boring offer. Usually people overcomplicate the offer. They want to put everything inside of the offer. But when you think about it, the offer is just a simple 1-line sentence of what are the results of your service. A lot of people overcomplicate their offers. They try to put everything on the offer, but the reality is the offer should be really simple. 1-sentence line of what do you do, who do you help, and how do you help them. I want to give you a quick heads up right here. On your offer, don't use guarantees. Don't say you will get them money back, and don't use any crazy numbers, because those things on your offer just attract broke leads that will cause you issues as you move forward. Okay, so people you want to work with should be realistic business owners, and they realize that you can't really get them, 100 leads in 2 days. It's not a realistic thing, but getting them 1 to 3 leads per day or 6 leads in 2 days, it's a realistic thing. So over-promising people on the offer will just attract you brokey leads and people with unrealistic expectations, right? And this is not something that you want in your business. It may be good for the short term, but you won't be able to retain those people, and you will always have to be back in the machine of client acquisition. And the main goal is to retain clients. This is how you create the long-lasting business. I will give you a formula to write your offer, and it's really simple. So it goes, I help niche to get to desired goal with the results of your service. So in my case, because I have a lead generation agency for construction companies, my offer is I help construction companies to fill their calendar for a full year, and I use the year that we currently in, so 2025, with 1 to 3 qualified leads per day. So I do like to use numbers on the offer, but not something crazy there, right? I wouldn't say, and I never go with that. I never guarantee people close deals because I can't go to those lengths to promise them the actual close deals because that's their business. So realistically, a business owner who will invest in marketing and video editing and whatever your service is in script writing, they are aware that you can't go to those lengths. So you will, if you say things like, we guarantee you deals closed, you will attract people who can't get the deals closed, right? It's an issue of a person who is broke. People who are good in business, they know how to close deals. They just need more leads. So it's better to say that on the offer than to promise close deals. Now, once you figure out what your offer is and you make it really let's say boring, but it's actually realistic. The second step is having a consistent lead flow. If you're doing cold outreach now in 2025 and moving forward, this is not something that will get you a consistent lead flow. You will always be in your own way, right? And on top of that, so many people use ads right now that it's silly not to use them. They're so cheap. Now, let me do the math for you. And this is why I completely stopped with cold outreach. Now, remember, I did it for 5 months. Every day, I burned out. I closed one client and he bailed off because I couldn't deliver the results. So would you rather spend 3 hours to do 100 cold outreach at best because you want to get qualified people to outreach to? Or would you rather spend $6 or €6 per day and reach 1,000 qualified eyeballs, right? So this is the math of the ads. You give the money to Meta platform, so Instagram and Facebook, and he finds the eyeballs of people that are your target audience. Now, on top of that, if you use the ads, people come to you and you don't grab them, you don't outreach to them, which puts you in a position of authority right from beginning. Now, there is this common limited belief that I hear all the time, literally, with the new agency owners, and that is I can't use ads if I'm just starting out. So I had literally one client that jumped off when I started to use paid ads. So after those 5 months of closing one client at the end of the whole cycle and the whole catastrophe, I literally burned out. I never felt that bad in my whole life, and I'm usually a chill person, so that was a new experience for me. So when I turned on my ads, I literally closed the client in that week. It wasn't high ticket, but I closed the person because I got swamped with leads. I got like 30 leads in 7 days and I closed one person, which is 1 out of 30. That's really bad, but it's still 7 days. And I spent, like €40 and I made 500. So when you think about it, the math is just, it works against cold outreach all the time. So yes, you should run paid ads and you should have your boring offer on them. Now, what is the next step? So once you have your boring offer, you have a consistent lead flow. What can you do next, right? So the next step is getting the leads to trust you. Once I switched from doing cold outreach to doing paid ads, I was always pushing people to go from cold to close into calls, right? And I thought that's something good, right? To push people as soon as you can. But the results that I was getting wasn't really something that I wanted to have and that I expected, which was I had many follow-ups that I had to do to everybody who didn't buy and purchase, who couldn't close on a call, which was really regular. The clients who did pay me ended up really suspicious. They weren't sure about will I actually deliver, so they will call me all the time. All of those clients, in addition, were pain in the neck because they were always there. And I had a lot of people dropping off because I've set some unrealistic expectations and I didn't explain them well enough. And because it all happened that fast, like in 3 days, it was really hard to explain them why this works and to make them patient of the full process. The main reason was the time to create trust was just too short, right? So now once I run a different funnel, I didn't change my service. Service actually got worse because I have less leads that come in, but I have more clients because they trust the system more. So in 3 days, I would get people from cold to close. And I was really proud of that, but it wasn't really successful. So, it doesn't really matter. So first off, I had the lead generation ad. Then I got people to the first call. Once I had that qualifying call, that was the first, I had people to book in the sales call. And in between the sales call and the first call, I bombard them with email sequence follow-ups so they get warmed up, right? They would watch my VSL where I prepared them for the sales call. Once we got to the sales call, I would try to close them, which it seems really, slick. It seems nice, but in reality, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of new information to cover in just 3 days. Now, after I realized that the period of nurturing and getting trust was just too short, I transferred my funnel into something more simple and something where the nurturing part is much longer. Not much longer, but it was longer. Everything changed in my agency. It got really, you'll see now in a second. So now once I realized that the problem was that the time to close people and to create trust was just too short, I realized that I have to switch my funnel. So I transferred to something more simple and just a little bit longer. But it didn't make so much difference in the long run. Actually, it's much better in the long run. And the funnel goes in 3 days to 1 month. I get people from cold to close. And this is how the funnel looks like. I get people to DM me, like an inbound DM lead. or to get them to follow me. Then they watch my daily content where I post 1 to 3 stories per day, which is like 10 minutes per day. I go back and forth in DMs with them, and then I finally close them in DMs. Now, speaking about the results that I got from switching from funnel to funnel, first thing is I spend less time on sales calls. I actually don't do sales calls at all right now. I just send people DMs and I close them there. I spend literally 10 minutes per day to post story flows, plus I chat in DMs, right? I close clients in DMs, as I said right now. I only work with clients who trust me, because the only way to close somebody in DMs is to close somebody who actually trusts in you, in your system, and in the offer that you have. The retention of clients increased. I have less stress over the results, right? My results got, let's say in numbers, worse, but the results of my clients got better because they trust the system. So they feel more obligated and excited to work with it. And finally, I'm closing 2 clients per week. I do all of this by running an Instagram agency profile, but I run it as a personal brand. Now you might be wondering how the profile looks like. This is the simple picture of the profile. There is not a face of mine. It's completely faceless. And if you're curious how this funnel works, I have a free training that goes in depth and in details how you can set it up. It's gonna be the first link down below so you can check it out. So this is exactly what I did last summer. After running the funnel for 6 months just to be sure that it's actually working, I decided to open up my coaching to other students and other agency owners who might want to test out the funnel for themselves. And so far the success was literally over 100%. The reason why I say that is because I thought that the funnel will take 3 months to get to 10K per month. And Samuel, who was my first coaching client, got to 10K per month literally in 1 month and 1 week afterwards in the second month. I have a full interview somewhere here on YouTube so you can check it out. Other than him, I got Carl, who's also an agency owner, who collected 2,800 euros from 2 clients closed in the first 2 weeks. And Strahinja, the agency owner who runs also a personal brand, which is also a combination that obviously can run here. And Strahinja, who is also an agency owner, in addition, he runs a personal brand for himself. He closed 2 clients on a trial period within the first 3 days of running the funnel. So if you wish to close 2 clients per week and you wish to run this funnel, the 3 things that you have to think about are focus on a simple offer, have a consistent lead flow, so run ads on your offer, and then focus on making leads trust you before you try to sell them on your main offer.